Yeah, and that's pretty much something that they can definitely do. And just go in and get out. Could be the name of the
Hmm.
game here. Just you don't need to go full commit onto a tower dive. Just taking out one member on this side here of Orgless means that
Yeah,
pretty much MGS can probably take down the turret. They have Tristana, one of the best turret takedowners, one of the
yeah.
best marksmen for
Siege
taking down
champion.
turrets. Rather, yeah, siege champion.
Yeah.
So I'm just very, very hyped up for this next match as we've loaded onto Summer's Rift
30
here for
seconds
the
until
game
minions
three
spawn.
of this best of three lower bracket match for our 2022 SIBOL qualifiers here. Orgless versus Mapua Gaming Society, two very familiar teams for our collegiate fans out there, now out here on the national, full-on professional stage. And let's see how this plays out for these teams. This is the last game of this series. Super excited.
And if ever they're gonna be throwing out a lot of their hands here, I'm kind of excited to see on how this Ezreal is gonna pair up with Duckman in the earlier objectives that we're gonna be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
That's most of the time is gonna be successful on their side, but with the Ego on Gwen, you all know what she's gonna do. Ego is just gonna be
Mm-hmm.
farming on until later, until the objective that he's actually needed. And then after they get the advantage, that is where Ego would have the advantage. That is very conditional though. But MGS
Mm-hmm.
with Irix just needs to go in with the Predator, get the ultimate, probably a kill. So it's
Mm-hmm.
easier for MGS to make use of this junglers other than Orgless having the Gwen.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, the Gangplank kind of matches well into the Skarner and the, like I said, the Cassiopeia earlier. So the biggest threat really here for this Gangplank in the early game is Shadow Blitz, because you can't cleanse being pulled with Apprehend. So there's gonna be just a short trade for this bot lane here. Liumar's gonna take a lot, force him to burn his potions. But yeah, Kaito, biggest threat here is getting solo killed by Shadow Blitz pre 5 minutes. And
Level 2 someone's
since he is going, yeah, he's on Corrupting Pot, so his trading should be relatively fine here. He's actually trading against Shadow Blitz pretty well. Not letting him stack more than 3 hemorrhage stacks here means that he's actually ahead in terms of the trading here. Still has a Biscuit and a stack of Corrupting Pot, means that he should curve out ahead in the early game here for this top lane.
Yeah, good thinking for Leomork and Basa to be backing away after they saw that Defsu and Admit were going for a level 2 angle here. Because if that was the case, if he was half HP and he's level 2, Defsu would just dive in and he'll probably be able to get the kill. But a good thing here though, both of our junglers started in the bottom side of the map. They're gonna be seeing each other on this cut here. That is probably the earliest contact that we're gonna be seeing for both of our teams.
Yeah, for now, I mean, Orgless, Ego on this Gwen probably doesn't want to go for full-on ganks right away. Doesn't really have a lot of ganking potential here.
Yeah.
He's not going to be ganking anyone with Kaito. Duckman, it takes a long time for that snare, for that root to actually come through. The closest thing he's got is to Leomark and Basa with the Dazzle stuns, so all he needs to do is go for level 6 and go for that really, really strong power farm. Irix here as well should be rushing to level 6 here. He's only going to be ganking if there's a really juicy opportunity. And just really wants to rush for that ulti and probably go gank Leomark here in the bot lane. Or Duckman.
Yeah, and it's super, super good for their side, Mapua Gaming Society. I think this is gonna be a pretty, other than the fact that Shadow Blitz would probably get a kill on Kaito if ever, it's gonna be super chill for both of our lanes just because they don't have enough damage for them to get the kill. Except also for on the bottom side, Admit and Defsu might be going for an angle to get the kill here because that's a Tristana in the early game.
Yeah, so far though, Defsu hasn't really, and Defsu and Admit haven't really, I mean, they're on Exhaust Ignite in this one thing, so they really want to get a kill, but they haven't really gotten the chance to.
Ooh.
That could have been a pretty good dredge line right there. Deals a lot of damage onto Leomark. Funny how the camera cut away exactly as the dredge line hit. But that wasn't a big fight. That was pretty much just a small trade here. Both of these marksmen probably want to back very, very soon to get their items past the 30 CS mark. Yep, Defsu just gives himself some room. And Leomark after this wave should be looking possibly for the Sheen as well. Looking at our junglers, first Drake is going to be coming up very, very soon. But once again, it's all up to who has the priority here in this bot lane. And since if Leomark cannot get a back here soon, Defsu is going to be a much better position here to to really bring out the damage here onto this Drake fight.
They wanted a Drake fight angle here for the side of Mapua Gaming Society because they're really pushing it out. What's good about this is that Defsu and Admit are in position if ever a gank is gonna happen, and Defsu in lane alone is also okay because Leomark and Basa won't be able to kill him anyway. So Orgless is just gonna give this first objective because they don't have enough ways to contest it.
Yeah, right now they don't have priority bot lane. Mid lane priority is kind of even here for Eerily. He's getting pushed in a little bit, but not far back enough that he's not going to be able to respond to Duckman making any rotations. This does give Ego a very, very small advantage over Irix by letting him counter juggle some of the Raptors away. But so far, it does seem like it's a pretty even game. The Mountain Drake at this stage of the game shouldn't matter too much. We might see some fights here topside, especially when Skyto reaches level 7. We might see some more fights around that Rift Herald, but for now, with Shadow Bliss going level 6 here as well, he's gonna have to keep his distance for now and stay away from the apprehend.
Yeah, he was apprehended in the top lane though, so that is something that we need to look at though. Top lane.
Ooh, very, very close. The Hemorrhage Stacks will actually let him take first blood here. And Shadow Blitz dealing a lot of damage here. Ego, though, once he's built up that Conqueror, might be able to take him back, but now Shadow Blitz coming in as well. The Decimate will just cut him to size. That's gonna be Shadow Blitz taking 2. Classic Darius gank, or gank on Darius rather, is the first guy dies and now he has full stack Hemorrhage and he just transfers it to you and then you get taken out. Let's take a look at that replay here.
Yeah, and look at the replay, everyone. It was just
very close.
MGS trying their very best here. Shadow Blitz just running away with a ghost on the top side. That was just so
That's the
easy
summoner
for him
spell
to do.
diff. That's the ghost diff.
Yeah, he doesn't have it teleport on the top side, which Orgless could leverage later on, but with disadvantage for Shadow Blitz, Kaito now have a hard time with the top side though. He's not gonna have a good day, but bot lane.
Here it is going to be big damage onto Admit. Rocket jump over, takes 1 turret shot, means that Leomark gonna get a lot of damage as well as he really comes in. That is just gonna be a trade of supports here. Teleport is gonna get burned. Duckman comes in for this rescue. Ego is trying to look for Eerily here, goes in with a snip. Can they deal enough damage? Duckman with the resolve Q comes in, lets him have enough damage to take out that kill, and that is going to be, yeah, that's going to be pretty big here. Eerily goes down. Ego pretty much gets back the gold that he lost there from dying to Shadow Blitz, or the golden XP he could have gotten farming during that time he was dead. And at that point, he should even up the fight with a Drake spawning in a few minutes from now. Could be the next big objective here. Herald might not be the biggest thing here for Orgless because that's a 2-0 Darius on that side of the map.
Yeah, and again, Mapua Gaming Society, yeah, they lost a bit of their advantage here because they gave Ego that kill. And even in the bot lane though, Leomark is just gonna be happy with that. It's just Mapua Gaming Society bot lane, Admit and Defsu are always finding ways to get the kill because that is basically the reason why they picked the Nautilus and Tristana, which is good though. But against an Ezen and Arik, you need to double think whenever you try to go in because they have a lot of innate sustain with their champions, and even the escape from Leomark is just hard to deal with.
So basically here, yeah, Basa pretty much knows, okay, I can face tank here a little bit, has the heals up as well. And yeah, that's really what they have to think twice because Ego might be around the corner as well. Because Ego's not going to be finding a lot of ganks in even, like if the lane is even. He's mostly finding ganks when they're overextended. And with explosive shots naturally pushing the lane from Defsu, it's a little bit hard for them not to get pushed out, which is why Ego has been looking at bot lane for the most part here. Meanwhile, yeah, no contest on that Rift Herald. Irix pretty much has that in the bag. Just because Shadow Bliss got those 2 kills, pretty much impossible to contest it. Immediate transition onto Duckman. He's able to dodge that, but this mid lane's gonna feel a lot of pressure very, very soon.
Yep, and I like the fact that Mapua Gaming Society knows the fact that Ego is not. They're gonna be reactive. Orgless is just gonna be reactive on what MGS is gonna do because they don't have a lot of ways to engage. Most of this is just them reacting on how MGS is gonna play out the fight, and that is where they win. They're basically counter-attack bots on this team. So Orgless just needs to wait for that opportunity for them to counter-attack.
Yeah, good awareness there from Orgless, especially Leomark. He knows that, okay, Duckman and Ego are not in a position to help us if we get dove here, so let's just use the True Shot Barrage on the wave, prevent a dive from happening in the first place instead of trying to fight it. And now that he's able to fight back a little bit more, Caulfield's Warhammer and Sheen pretty much gives him the combat status he needs to fight back. He should be geared up enough for Drake once it spawns. Shadow Blitz does not have a teleport here, but then again, Kaito is still on teleport for himself as well, and so it's going to be mostly 4v4 here. A big deciding factor is probably going to be the Cannon Barrage here from Orgless to influence that 4v4 in this walk time.
Yeah, that's a minuscule amount of damage, but it helps, especially with the slow that it gives, though. So if ever
the slow is the biggest
they're gonna go here, yeah, they have Kaito's ultimate. So if ever they're gonna go,
there we go.
Gonna go.
Oh, that's not a very impactful one. They do get stunned up. They have the Radiance out. That's big. If they try to force the Drake here, Mapua Gaming Society is in a big advantage in this spot. So they're still gonna force it. That could be a big mistake. They immediately go for the kill onto Leomark now. They have a little bit more less damage at this point. Jumping in with the rocket jump. Duckman's next on the chopping block. Early picks up the kill. Irix is gonna run away here, but the rest of the squad is enough to clean it up. Basa tries to go for the dazzle. Can he get it? No, not in range for an auto attack, and Tetsu goes for the flash. What a disaster here from Orgless. They have 4 members down. Mapua Gaming Society only lost 1, and that is complete bust. I was gonna say, okay, after they missed the Radiance, they're gonna back off, but no, they forced the Hextech Drake, and now they pay for it.
Yeah, I thought that is exactly what they're gonna do. They lost a lot of their ultimates there. The Cannon Barrage, even the Resolve E onto Duckman, they lost that during that fight. And because of that, they don't have enough of their ultimates to work with. And that's why they got punished by MGS. MGS knows that. That's why they went in, flashed in with Irix, got the ADC. Now they have no damage to work with. Yes, they have Ego, but would he be able to get in close to us? We have a Cassiopeia, so it's gonna be easy for us to kite him down.
Just very bad decision there from Orgless. I'm just gonna say it straight up. That was pretty much the biggest throw we've seen in this series so far. Wait, no. Well, no. The game 1 throw was the biggest with the misposition.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah.
But that's the second biggest one we've seen, because that should have been an easy decision to make, right? Like, Cannon Barrage yung X factor natin dito, because that pretty much lets Kaito have a presence kahit wala siyang teleport, right?
Yep.
And there, it's a pretty lukewarm Cannon Barrage. They try to force with the Tarek ulti, wala ring nangyari. So the decision to go for the Drake was just baffling to me. So let's see how they recover from that. It is just a 2k gold lead. This comp from Mapua Gaming Society isn't really something that accelerates super hard with a 2k gold lead. So they should still be able to get back in this game. But that was a very big hit to their momentum.
Yeah, and it's super hard here, no, Hyro. Kasi with the composition that they have, what they want to do is to time the Well of Radiance well. So yun talaga yung parang also one of the key factors whenever they are gonna go to try and go for a fight, but Ego in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's a classic Gwen gank. Not really there for any ganks. It's more of to counter gank and to punish any overcommitment there. But since that was just pretty much them trying to push eerily away, so he doesn't clear the wave, so that the Rift Herald doesn't actually get the kill onto the turret, right? So if Eerily got the minions taken down, he could have like auto-attacked the turret a few times, could have been a turret takedown. Here, Mapua Gaming Society gonna go for a dive onto Duckman. Good flash here, Shadow Blitz right around the corner. This turret is gonna go down no matter what. He goes in for the flash apprehend here. Can they actually get the kill? That's gonna be the depth charge on him as well, just to commit the kill. Eerily goes for Petrifying Gaze onto nothing, actually trades it 1 for 1, 1 for 2 actually, with a big shutdown by Duckman. Not as big as we would have liked, because Duckman isn't really a gold scaler in this game, going for full support for Leomark and Kaito here, so in the end, Mapua Gaming Society still gets what they want, a turret and a kill.
What I don't like about that is that they overcommitted, especially during that time Irali has the shutdown goal. So even though that it's on the Dockman side, that would just give Orgless a lot of chances to make mistakes, because now with the added cooldown reduction for Duckman, that would just give him more time to get the shields up. So that is at least maybe an equal trade for my end, just because at this point Duckman's shield are at least still a bit relevant.
Yeah, and for the most part, Mapua Gaming Society is still in a decent spot here. They have added a little bit of gas onto the Darius engine, because what I'm always worrying about, okay, Darius gets 2 kills in the early game, then what, right? That's usually the problem with a lot of Darius, is like they fumble a gank onto top side, feed him 2 kills, and then learn their lesson. That's usually how it goes with a lot of Dariuses. What's the plural of Darius? Darai? But Darius is right. But here they're able to give Shadow Blitz another kill, and I think that counts for something in the history of the Dariuses we've seen so far. So maybe Mapua Gaming Society can put more gas in that engine while Irelie and Defsu slowly scale up.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they're very patient with this game, right? Because one mistake would take you off the league. So they're really trying their best to get the objectives. Mapua Gaming Society is like, you have a composition that's very reactive and one that is really proactive. One mistake from either side, one is gonna capitalize. I like the way that they drafted here, because it's 2 different plays.
Oh, it is. They do both see each other here. Admit is gonna be the main target. He is gonna flash over. This does leave Tyrix and Shadow Blitz open, taking a lot of damage here. Can Shadow Blitz build up his Samurai stacks then? SMB Cosmic Radiance. In comes the Gwen here. Gonna get Dredgeline immediately, gets bursted down, and Irelie picks up the kill. They don't have enough damage to make use of that short invincibility, but they do feel like they can still go for the Ocean Drake. Now that Mapua Gaming Society is scattered, Leomark and Kaito can go for the chase here. Nice dodge on the dredge line there, means that they overcommit onto that. Duckman picks up the kill. It is going to be Leomark picking up the kill as well onto Eric's. Defsu has to run away. Shadow Blitz looking for an opening here. He has the blast cone ready. He is detected here with these scanner here. Leomark, they're trying 1v1 with Defsu. That's going to be the exhaust coming in clutch there for this marksman. And that is going to be Orgless running it back, evening out the gold. Maybe they have the position onto Drake here. It doesn't seem like they want to risk it since the death timers aren't long enough, and Shadow Blitz and Irelie are already up. We're still up,
they played it to a T though. Orgless was just playing it around Mapua Gaming Society's mistake. They tried to commit onto Ego, but we all know Ego, especially with the W, it's going to be easy to get away from fights. And also with the presence of Well of Radiance onto Baza, they just took a lot of time against MGS, and Orgless just positioned themselves onto the battlefield really well. And that last bait from Leomark was just icing on top of the cake, baiting out that food, baiting out that mid, getting the Ocean Drake in the end.
Even lang yun dapat eh. Like, okay, na-miss nung Orgless yung big opportunity nila with Cosmic Radiance. Tapos na-burst pa si Ego. So I was thinking, okay, tatakbo lang yung MGS dito. Pero they saw the opportunity, right? MGS was like, okay, pwede tayo mag-turn dito. Go for the dredge line, go. And then Leomark was like, I already expected that. I'm 5 steps ahead of you. He goes immediately for the reposition. Baits Mapua Gaming Society into committing. Kasi pag nag-commit na si Admit, nag-commit na sila eh. And at that point, it's still anyone's game at this point. But Orgless is showing that, okay, we can't count us out even though we had a very, very big blunder during break. We can recover from that. We are a championship team, and we're going to show it here in the 2022 SIBOL national team selection.
Yeah, I can just hear Leomark saying he just activated my trap card when he did that bait a while ago. That was just so good. And I mean, Orgless right now, just because of that great advantage that they get, they at least jumpstart Kaito. Kaito hasn't been getting a lot of assistance a while ago, hasn't been getting a lot of presence during the fights. He's going for the Essence Reaver to the Prowler's Claw build here, so we're waiting for him to get the 3rd item for him to get the damage that he needs during the fight. A while ago, it was a bit kulang pa yung damage niya. But later on, if ever magkaroon pa sila ng next fight in the next 23-minute mark siguro for the next Dragon, that might be the time na relevant na itong si Kaito.
Yeah, and that's really the gangplank factor, right? That gangplank kind of scales up silently, right? Like while you're doing team fights across the map, while you're doing like 4v5s, this gangplank is like blowing up minion waves buy the dozen
Yeah.
and building up that gold. Oh, Dogman, is he gonna get kidnapped here? Wala. Okay, medyo wala pang gas yung white band dito ni Irex. Hindi pa niya makidnap si Dogman.
Oo. Kulang sa gas yung panggas yung ano si
Muntik na
si Irex.
makulangan ng kid. Muntik na mawala ng kidney si Dogman dun eh.
Oo nga eh. Nakakatawa. He needed to flash though. A good commitment doon kasi it's a good thing kasi Predator has a bit less cooldown compared to the flash. So
And pretty much
later
secures
on,
the turret, right?
yeah, and they know who the target is later on in the next fight.
So far though, Mapua Gaming Society, they know that they can't find a big win just yet. Oh, that's big value for the Drift Herald. They get 1.5, 1 and like 3/4 of a turret, right? So, really, not really the best at shoving turrets. I mean, he's good at shoving them away, but not very good at taking the turrets himself. No? So, Eerily having to back off there. Still good value from the Drift Herald, more than we usually see for Drift Herald. That's above the curve of what we expect, and that's definitely what they want here. Meanwhile, Orgless not really finding anything too big, right? Like once again, even though the Tristana Casio late game is very, very scary, Kaito has that once again that gangplank factor where if you let him scale off silently, he hasn't died to Shadow Bliss since. So this is actually very, very good for him. Lets him like farm very, very silently. Already has the Prowlers plus the Essence Reaver as well. So once he gets his next the third item, that should be when he starts really ramping up. Especially once he's already level 13. So his barrels are actually like usable in team fights now.
Yeah, now it's the time for Kaito to actually show himself during the team fights. Kasi if ever kahit hindi lang canon wala siya, because with this barrels that he has right now, it would be easier for him to do. And even though it's 2 items pa lang, at this point, it's slowly turning out that Shadow Blitz is having a hard time dealing damage or at least having relevancy during the game.
Parang
This
pa-plateau
is
na.
ito yung turn around whenever you pick the Darius. Just to get the advantage early in the game, but later on, you're basically just an apprehend bot. Yun lang talaga yung gagawin mo later on in the game.
Yeah, and when the next team fight happens, maybe we'll see Shadow Blitz coming out and getting more damage and getting more kills in. But for now, it does seem like we're seeing the same problem with the Darius. The Darius problem. Let's name it that. The Darius problem. You get 3 kills in the first 10 minutes and then nothing happens for the rest of the game. But here he's still doing good. He's like constantly shoving the wave, constantly giving Kaito something to worry about topside. It's not that he's fallen off. It's more that he hasn't gotten a chance to deal his damage yet. So when the next team fight happens around this Drake, that's when we'll see him really pop off here. Kaito, we haven't seen him in a big team fight just yet. Maybe we'll see him here around this Drake. Vision from Mapua Gaming Society was very good earlier, right? Up until this point, MGS had both jungle sides for Orgless down pat with Vision. Now that they cleared it, but at least they have a lot more intel. So yeah, that's the Gangplank thing. You know, that was half Eerily or Dev's HP. And now Leomark with his items, they just need to have Ego focus the Drake and play keep away with Kaito and Leomark. And yeah, that's them basically them playing a 2-deck. Yeah. But what Mapua Gaming Society just need to find an opportunity to go in, and then Orgless might scatter.
Yeah, that is the reason why. You said a while ago, there's a lot of ways for them to plateau on the side of MGS. They only have Eerily and Devsu to do some damage, and it's not burst. This damage, they need to stay in the fights for long, and because of the presence of Kaito in the game, they won't be staying for long. Just because of this, but then they charge onto Leomark.
Oh, they hard committed onto their forcing a lot of flashes here. But that is going to be a very, very good cannon barrage. Actually stops the momentum of the fight. Leomark's coming in hot. Dodges the essence, the two-shot barrage here, but he's still going to get taken down. Leomark takes a kill. Cost of Radiance doesn't do much except keep Mapua Gaming Society away. So that's one big kill. Looking at the ultis, they still have Ego's ulti. They don't have Cosmic Radiance, but this seems like it's enough for them to play confident and go for the Baron. MGS though, they should be expecting this. Will they be actually going for a mid lane push straight up to counter the Baron, or are they going to try and turn without any vision here?
I mean, losing 1 tower for this is going to be good if ever, because Ego is going to be taking this Baron down pretty easily. So what's unfortunate here is if they won't be able to take down a tower, they won't be able to contest any objective out of that Baron thing.
But here, good response here. They don't get too much value out of that push. 1 turret should be traded back by Orgless pretty quickly, especially with the Karma clearing the waves and Leomark just dogging these turrets down, right? So with this Baron, should be enough for Orgless to try and get the momentum in their favor for this game, no? Meanwhile, Mapua Gaming Society, they're still looking for that one big fight, no? Wrong school.
Yeah.
They're still looking for that fight na makakapag-pop off si Shadow Blitz and Irix can get like a crucial ulti on Leomark. Kasi Leomark lang naman yung kandidato dito para i-ulti ni Irix.
Yep. Yun lang talaga yung the factor that they need to look at. Kasi if they ulti Kaito, you know what's gonna happen. So Leomark is just gonna be the target here. So Ego, not even a good even though a while ago, we haven't seen Ego get a lot of kills, get a lot of ganks, but because it's Gwen in the late game, Gwen is still relevant. She's gonna be dealing the damage that she needs to do at any point in the game, and that is the reason why Irix is having a hard time to even get close. Kasi Ego, with just one snip, probably is gonna take down half of HP kahit sino sa kanila on the side of MGS.
Yeah, it's pretty much like pre-rework Irelia from the olden days, right? Na, basically a stick of stats. Like Gwen is basically a blob of stats that gets more painful to deal with the longer the fight goes because of the needlework and of course the Conqueror, right? And basically that's what the Cosmic Radiance is for, is to let Ego build up that Conqueror's stacks and the needlework to stack up as well to get to be in a tip-top fighting shape and for Kaito to set up his barrels and for Leomark to deal his damage. The Cosmic Radiance is really less for surviving damage. Yes, that's part of it, but it's more of giving ourselves free time to set up what we need, which is what this team is about. It's less about surviving burst, which Mapua Gaming Society doesn't really have, and more on, okay, this is the free time that we have. It's basically cheating out time that we usually need to take to set up for our carries.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're doing there, though. Like whenever they go for Cosmic Radiance for the Taric, it's just easier for them. They use Dockman's Resolve whenever they can. They use the Cosmic Radiance for them to position themselves well during the fight, and also to disrupt the positioning of MGS. Because after the Cosmic Radiance, they need to back away, right? That is the usual reaction. And with that, they already won. Because with the better positioning, the Gwen would just position himself in front, and Kaito would just find a way to get the battles onto the backline. And after that, Defsu and Nirali won't even be able to get close.
For sure. Actually, another good candidate for Impale might actually be Basa. Since he's not super tanky as a support, right? His only item is like Solari, Locket of the Iron Solari, which is not a lot of defensive stats. So if you actually take out Basa, that's one big part of Orgless' game plan out. And you were right in your assessment earlier that Mapua Gaming Society still needs to find that opportunity. Because they still, even without a big engage here, they still have the insurance of having the Casio and the Tristana for the late game.
Yeah. That is, look at how the tables have turned. The MGS are the ones hiding themselves onto the position. It's just a good thing that it's the Ocean Drake. That's why, and also the Skarner is just giving them free vision right there when they got that crystal. So now they know that Irix is hiding in wait for it.
But here, Mapua Gaming Society, they have a pretty dangerous position here for Admit in the back, but this could potentially work out best if they can get a surprise dredge line into depth charge here. They have full vision of where Leomark is. Admit though, they also know where Admit is, so they're going straight for the fight. Admit has to flash over here. That's gonna be Basa getting that perfect Cosmic Radiance outwards. So look at the amount of shields that he has for his team. That is gonna be Leomark flashing over. Shadow Blitz now on the run, could not stack up his hemorrhages. And now he's gonna get taken down for sure with Ocean Drake being taken by Orgless. That is all she wrote for that fight, and now Orgless is 4k gold ahead, and MGS is feeling the pain. And finally, the pieces of this comp from Orgless are coming together in this game.
Yeah. During that fight, it was because the timing of the Cosmic Radiance was perfect. Basa was able to pop up the Cosmic Radiance at that perfect time. He didn't die. And the shield of the Locket of the Iron Solari was enough for him to survive during that whole time. And that just paved way for OG to do that. And the reason why they were able to pull that off was because Kaito, with his barrel, Defsu wasn't able to position himself well because he's low HP because of Kaito's barrel. And that is what we said a while ago. That is just the Gangplank effect right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is just gonna get worse and worse here for MGS in terms of the gangplank factor, right? The longer the game goes, the more that this high, the more that the gangplank is gonna be a big factor in terms of damage, and we're gonna be seeing a lot of these barrel crits chunk Defsu and eerily down. And that's pretty much the signal for Leomark to arcane shift in, and then like it allows those plays to happen, right? Usually arcane shift in Ezreal is something that's like we see in like fail compilations. But with the barrel, chunking them down, go for the arcane shift in plus the mystic shot, then auto attack, and then just jump out with flash. Is actually something that they can do here for Orgless. And in general, the gangplank is just something that you cannot ignore at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's just hard to. I mean, they try to get in onto the gangplank, but because they don't have a lot of reliable CC to lock him down, and also the sheer range that he has playing with the barrels, they can't even get close. Because if they try to get close, Ego would just be there in front of them, sustaining a lot of damage. Their backline can't even do anything. This is what is hard about fighting a Gwen. Because you have 3 melees who don't have damage. It's easy for her to stay in front during the whole fight.
But with this next Baron up though, it seems like MGS thinks that they have the advantage in this territory. They're not gonna start it. They're not incompetent enough to start it on their own without any prompting. But they are here. They're showing Orgless, okay, we're gonna fight over this objective. Let's see who across the map. The lanes, I think, I can't see from the minimap quite well, but the lanes I think are in favor of MGS in the bot side here. So that could be something that they've set up beforehand. Yeah, it is pushing towards Orgless' side. So that's something that Orgless has to deal with eventually. They could go for the Cannon Barrage just to clear it, but I think it's much more value to just use it as a slow tool, like a slow zone against Mapua Game Society, and also a big small burst of damage here, especially if they have the center cannonball upgrade here for that Cannon Barrage.
And if ever they want to engage during the fight, especially after a Cosmic Radiance, they might already have all the upgrades from the Cannon Barrage here. So it's also going to be good because of the move speed buff that the Cannon Barrage gives. So right now, they need to think twice on where they engage here, because right now Admit is level 9. It doesn't have a lot of HP, but that charge.
Oh, they're gonna go straight for the Impale here onto Basa. That's one of the targets, but he survives. Gets us Cosmic Radiance off an Ego. Snip, snip, snip. Gets his needlework through and kills Admit and Irix. And without the jungler, 5v3, this could be Orgless' chance to get this Baron almost uncontested. Mapua Game Society, they don't have a front line. Eerily and Defsu cannot deal their damage. They force the flash out of the snake. And now that is Orgless once again taking the Baron here. Defsu gonna try and trade back the turret for himself, but that is not enough to trade back the 2 kills in a Baron that they just took. MGS right now faltering hard.
Yeah, they have a good mindset during that last fight. They wanted to go for Basa, take off the Cosmic Radiance as early as they can, and also the Locket of the Iron Solari wouldn't be popped if you chain CC Basa. But after that, what happens? Ego and Kaito are still up. The Leomark is still there doing sustained damage. And at this point, it's really out of their control whenever that happens. So before they go in for a fight, they need to choose. Choose right. Is Basa really a good target, or should they just take down one of their damage list?
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, maybe Basa's a decent target for the Impale, but not when the rest of Orgless is in position to help him out, right? Like, you have to catch him out of position where you can kill him and then set up a 5v4 against Orgless. That's actually a pretty good chance to use Impale onto the Taric, but there in that fight, he was able to recover very fast and survive. Now, turret's going down. This could be Mapua Game Society's last stand in this best of 3. Let's see how it goes. Inhibitor going down. Snip, snip, snip onto Defsu. Being pushed away. Where's their front line? They're coming in from behind here. Will Orgless go for the turn is the question. Will they see Admit rolling up from the side and go for him? Irix as well. They're just going straight chill for the turrets right now. No fight just yet.
Yeah, and you know Orgless is just gonna go for this if they want to, though. They have a lot of damage. Look at that!
Yeah, there's the barrel. They're coming through. That is gonna be the Cosmic Radiance already off cooldown. They take down Eerily completely, and they're immune for the rest of this fight. And now that is going to be Defsu and Shadowblitz. The only remaining members is not gonna be enough. Orgless' pump pays off. they are invincible, coming through, holding Dapsu hostage here as they take away 2-1 in this series. Orgless coming out on top.
Oh, wow, that is a great win for Orgless. They were just able to at least get themselves out there. Yes, they lost the last game,